Hello, beautiful people. So today I'm back with a story time. I just want to tell a little bit of a story time, midst of everything going on. So look, check this out. I'm just about to jump right into it. So I just want to talk about my experiences as a nurse in quarantine, getting furloughed during quarantine, getting my job back during quarantine, and just like in my head, I'm like, what the heck during quarantine, you know? So right now, I just feel like it's been a lot going on, especially with the pandemic, everyone being sick and a lot of sick people, I should say. And a lot of people anxious, a lot of people nervous. And I just want to talk about my experience, a little bit of being in healthcare during this pandemic. This is my first pandemic that I've ever been in, and I wouldn't have imagined being in one, especially me being new into healthcare. I'm like 3 years in to like being a nurse in healthcare, but it just still feels like a lot. So, where should we start? We're just gonna break this down. So, um, I'm currently an LPN. I'm actually in school to get my bachelor's in nursing and become a registered nurse. Eventually, I do plan on becoming a nurse practitioner or a PA. I haven't decided yet, but I work with a lot of excellent physician assistants, and they give me a lot of advice and mentorship. And then I also had experiences with nurse practitioners that I worked with at my previous job. So I really like both jobs. I'm still trying to figure out the two of which one I want to do. But right now, I currently work in an urgent care as a nurse, as an LPN there. So in my role there, I do triages, I do injections, like many procedures, like helping set up, like all stuff in the clinic to help assist the doctor. So fast forward, now we're in quarantine, right? So now we're at the point where in my clinic we're doing everything curbside. So we're not seeing, well, we are seeing patients in the clinic, but they're only like basic, like maybe ear pain or a pink eye or something like that. But any like upper respiratory, any stomach pain, thing like that, is all being seen from the car. I am doing COVID swabbing. I'm doing COVID antibody testing. A lot in a nutshell. So let me bring it back, rewind. So right before this pandemic started, I was working, I know, full time. Everything is dandy. I love my job. I love what I do. I love helping. That's compassion in my heart. That's the type of person that I am. So with that being said, like, it was starting to be a little chit chat around work, like, well, it might be cutting back hours. That's the first thing. Then it was like, okay, well, actually we're gonna have to furlough some people just during this time, just to I guess help like balance out everything out, and for them to figure out a flow for everything. So in the midst of all of this, a lot of new stuff was being introduced, like a call center and telehealth, where you see the doctor over the FaceTime call. And I remember going to work one day, and I get a call from my area manager, and she's like, unfortunately, we're gonna have to temporarily like let you go. And in my mind, I'm like, what? I'm at work. Like, you tell me while I'm at work to let me know that you're about to lay me off, basically. So then she was like, I'm so sorry. She's like, I'm thankful that everybody's so patient and so cooperative. We're trying to do this furlough thing so we can help you get paid and things like that. And y'all, unemployment benefits is another thing. That stuff is confusing and it takes forever. But anyways, so then I had to go through the rest of my shift knowing that today was my last day, and I had to not let it affect me. But in the inside, I'm kind of like, yo, that's kind of grimy. Like, that's kind of messed up to let me know. Like, just so you know, you came in today, but this is going to be your last day. And we don't know when we're actually going to be calling you back. And I'm just like, so you basically telling me that I have to sit around and wait, to see if I'm going to have a job or if you're going to call me back, stuff like that. So now I'm at home, I'm chilling, like, I'm getting used to being, just being unemployed, basically. So I found things to do with my time. Your girl started her YouTube channel in the meantime. Like, I started more self-growth routines. And I just started to get into me, like focusing on me and figuring out what I want to do, like finding out my brand, like solidifying things that I want to have done. I was getting in the groove of things, and then they call your girl back like 3.5 weeks later. and I get a call on my phone. It shows up like my manager and the company, because that's how I put people names in. The manager and my job on there. And I'm like, who do I want to answer? Because I'm like, right now I'm comfortable. Like right now I'm enjoying this. Even though like I was upset of how it happened, like once I actually got over it and was like, okay, well, I have no choice. I can't sit here and mope and cry. I don't want to. Like that's not how I want to go about it. Why don't I just focus on myself, start things that I want to start, figure out things for my business? And when I was getting a groove with that, and I got the call, and in our furlough letter, they did tell us that if they were bringing us back, they would give us a call 3 days before they want us to report back to work. So then I get a call Friday, and my area manager is on the phone. She's like, well, are you able to start back work on Tuesday? And then she was telling me like when my schedule will be. This mind you, I was going back part-time still, so I wasn't really back at full-time status. So I'm in my head, I'm like, yeah, okay. So then, mind you, me and two of my other coworkers have been in contact the whole time because we're trying to figure out like our payments and all sort of stuff. So I called her immediately after I got off the phone with my manager, and she was like, I was like, girl, did you get the call? She's like, girl, yes, I got the call. And I was like, are you going back? She's like, are you going back? And I'm like, I don't want to, but you know, I got used to what I'm doing, and now I have to get used to going back to work. But I'm like, you know what? I have to be grateful and thankful that I still have a job, and then I can still help, and that I can still do what I love to do and what I went to school for and things like that. So she's like, yeah, girl, me too. And I'm like, okay, fine. I was like, I'll see you next week. She's like, I'll see you next week. So then after that, that was me being laid off. Like I was really getting into the groove of me enjoying myself and enjoying things. And then I got the call to come back. So I was like, didn't want to be ungrateful because there is a lot of different circumstances for a lot of people out here. And I'm blessed enough to be in a field where, okay, I had temporary unemployment, but I did get paid for that time that I was off. And not everyone is in that situation. So I count myself as blessed. So I had to look at myself as such. So then I went back to work. You know, the first couple of days were rough because I had to get up again, get back in the routine. And then when I got to work, honey, it was like, it was so chaotic. The phones ringing nonstop, triaging over the phone. It was nonstop. Blood draws, nasal swabs, flu swabs, like everything you can think of was happening at once in the clinic. And mind you, everyone wasn't bad because there was a good amount of people in the company that had got furloughed. And for those of you who don't know what furlough is, it's like a temporary layoff where could be temporary, could be permanent, but your company does it and reports it to the state so that you're able to get paid during the time that you're off. So they did that, and when I came back, it was just hectic. Like, mind you, not everybody had come back at the time, so it was still like a couple new people that was just thrown back in the mix. Like, okay, welcome back. And it was hectic. Like, ever since then, it's just been so much going on. I love what I do still to this day. I love being a nurse, but let me just be honest with you. It is a lot. You have to deal with patient anxiety, patient rudeness, patient, like, them not being considerate about you. You have patients coming in the clinic with no mask, no gloves, no type of protective anything on, no standard precautions. They come in hacking, coughing all over the place. So it was just like, it's an environment where you have to learn how to find ways to cope and to have thick skin and to find and not to let little things get to you. Because honey, if this is a time where if you are letting these small things get to you, it's gonna rip you up. It's gonna rip you up and tear you apart. Because I see right now why a lot of other nurses are struggling, because not only I'm not in the area of the pandemic where I'm actually witnessing patient loss, so I can only imagine what the nurses that are in the hospital are actually going through in that matter, and that is itself is devastating. But the constant pressure and the constant, like, you're on the go, you're doing million things at one time, and you're trying to make sure you don't make any medical errors. You're trying to still make sure you're still giving the best quality patient care on top of all the stress that you're feeling. It's a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've come home or gotten off of work literally, physically, mentally, emotionally drained. My mind, I'm so drained I can't talk. And I've realized that right now is a very important time for us to practice some self-help. If there's a time where you can have a day off or have a day to yourself, I think right now is the time to have it, because nurses right now are going through it. Healthcare providers are going through it. And I mean also the other frontline workers, grocery store workers, mailmen, delivery. I still commend all of everybody who's working during this time. But I know specifically as a nurse, it is very hard. But I know that there's gonna be something good that comes out of this. Out of every hardship, there is a blessing on the other end, and that's how I look at it. Even though right now, honey, your girl be stressed sometimes, and I never want to give up on what I do, but sometimes I'm like, look, I need a break. Like, let me walk out for like 15 minutes or 5 minutes. Let me go across the street to get some candy, or let me do something where I'm out of this vicinity. Let me sit down and enjoy a meal, because sometimes I work 12, 13-hour shifts straight with no breaks, no nothing. And it can be a lot on you. And that's why right now, I just pray everybody is doing the best that they can. They stay healthy, stay fit, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, physically, because right now it is needed. Being an essential worker during a pandemic is a lot, and I've never thought that I would experience it. I've heard stories about the other pandemics that happened, Ebola, swine flu, things like that, but I was never in the forefront of any of it. And to be in one now, it's just like, I can see the world is going to be completely changed because of this. This is something that's gonna, I don't know if it's going to shift us in a different direction, but it's definitely going to allow for a lot of changes. There's going to be some changes that's going to happen that bring forth. But with that being said, I just want to come on and do my little spiel about being an essential worker, a nurse during a pandemic, and this time right now, what I went through by having a job, not having a job, getting my job back, and the things that I'm going through in my job currently, and things of that nature. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this quick little story time. This is just a little bit to get to know me as my nursing side. I am going to start incorporating more things into it as I figure out what I want to do with it. But this is just an introduction to me as a nurse and what I do and what I love and things like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are out here and you're unemployed at the moment and you're struggling financially, my thoughts and my prayers are with you. I am praying that you get your deliverance, your blessing, and I pray that you are actually find a way to transform yourself during this time of quarantine, during this time of forcing you to be in your house and not outside. Use this time to be productive, to heal, to grow, and be a better you on the other side of this once it's all over and once it's all said and done. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, please like, comment, subscribe down below. Follow me on Instagram, all that stuff. You know the spiel, you know how it goes. Follow me on Instagram, and I will be back with another video in the future. Peace.